everyone, welcome! The topic we're talking today is very real and very relevant to our daily life. I'm Endah Safitri
And I'm Selvana Dinara. Today we are talking about unemployment, the problem that affects many people in Indonesia.
So let's go!
Okay, so Endah, let's start with the big picture. What does the employment situation actually look like in Indonesia right now?
So far, on base PPS data as of February 2024, Indonesia unemployment rate was around 4%. Sounds small, right?
Yeah.
But on population of 270 million, that only 7 million people is looking for work and can't find it. And that number doesn't even include people who have given up looking or are underemployment.
Wow, 7 million? That's like the entire population of Surabaya unemployed.
Exactly. And I think one thing that really stands out in youth employment rate, people our age are being hit especially hard.
And I think one thing that really stands out is the young unemployment rate, right? Like people our age, fresh graduate, young adults are being hit especially hard.
Yes, young employment is around 40 to 60% for people age 50 to 24. So basically 1 in 6 or 7 young people who are able to work cannot. And a lot of them have degrees. So it's not just about education, it's about the mismatch between what people study and what the job market actually needs.
The skill mismatch problem, that's such a real thing. I've heard so many stories of people graduating with curtain degrees and then ending up in totally unrelated fields, or worse, not being able to find work at all.
Right, and structurally, the economy is growing but not creating enough formal sector jobs. And a lot of growth is in the informal sector. So no job security, no benefit, and no stable income. So even people who are technically employed can be in very precarious situation.
Okay, so now let's get into the case, because honestly this is the part that really make me go, why this is serious.
Okay, so far, first cases, the PHK waves.
Oh yeah.
Starting in 2023 into 2024, there was a massive wave of layoff in Indonesian textile and garment industry. Factories were hit from multiple sides. Chips from import China, declining export costs, COVID-19,
Oh yeah.
and rising productive costs. So factories started cutting staff, and in some cases, this shutting down entirely. According to API, by early 2024, over 5,000 textile workers have lost their jobs just from one industry.
Yeah, I remember reading about this, and this honestly was working in the industry for years. Adult with family, kids in the school, so it is really devastating.
Yeah, exactly, and the number is staggering.
Okay, and then there's the second hot case, which I think hits closer to home for people like us, the fresh graduate unemployment issue. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, okay, so this went viral on social media around 2023 to 2024. Tons of posts from fresh graduates saying things like that. And I've been playing for 6 months and can't even get a rollback. Or companies want 2 until 3 years of experience, but this is my first job, and how?
Okay, that is so related. It is like a paradox. You need experience to get a job, but you need a job to experience.
Yes, and the data behind DBS reported around 500 million young people aged 15 to 24 are classified as NEET, unemployment, education, or training. That's a huge chunk of the population that just stuck.
And then the third case, the teach layoff. Because I think a lot of people to teach with kind of immune to this, right? Like everyone keeps saying, get into teach, there are so many jobs.
Yeah, and then 2023 and 2004 happened. Companies like Goto went through multiple rounds of layoff. Ruang Guru too. Several startups able to shut down or massive downside. and thus more highly skilled work regarding product management, data science, but they still lost their job because company offer hire during the pandemic boom and had correct courses. So unemployment is not just about individual skill, it's about broader economic condition too.
So even the good jobs aren't safe anymore. So alright, so we have established that the problem is real and it is serious. Now the $1,000,000 question, or maybe the $300 question, what is the government actually doing about it?
So there are few things were mentioned. The first is Kartu Prakerja.
Oh yeah.
A government training program for employment or underemployment people can take online courses and get small financial incentive. By 2024, it had served over 17 million people. But critics say that the courses are too shallow and not always match what employers actually need.
I've heard of that. My cousin actually did it, but it also has some criticism about it. Like, is it actually effective?
Yeah, that's a fair question. The
Yeah.
approach is impressive but deep, and the impact is questionable.
What else?
And then there is investment and infrastructure push, attracting foreign direct investment, especially in labor-intensive industry, to attract more of the workforce, including stuff related to Nusantara. The argument is a great job, but critics say construction jobs are often temporary and that solve structural employment long term.
Like the industrial parks, the ones being put in Kalimantan and places like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And what about the job creation law or omnibus law? Because that was a huge controversy, right?
Undang-Undang Cipta Kerja, the government recommend was it would make it easier for business to hire by reducing regulatory burden, but the worker accurate made it easier to fire people, reduce severance protection, and allow more contract worker, less job security. The tension between expecting investment and contract worker is still very much ongoing.
But workers didn't like it all.
Not at all. And under President Prabowo Subianto, one key program is, makan bergizi
Oh,
gratis.
yeah.
Not about pendidikan. The government frames is job creation to cooks, logistics, and supply chain. Whether that plays out remain to be seen.
So it is complicated. There's no easy answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so here is what I personally think. And Endah, feel free to disagree with me. I think one of the biggest gaps is that there are still not enough focus on the quality of job versus just the quantity. The government celebrates when unemployment numbers go down, but we don't always ask what kind of jobs are people getting.
I totally agree with you. Like, if someone goes to unemployment working like 12 hours per day as an informal labor with no contract and no health insurance, technically, that unemployment went down. But did their life get better? Not necessarily.
And I also think there needs to be a bigger investment in vocational education and linking school directly with industry. Because right now there is such a huge gap between what university teach and what companies actually need.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the digital economy is growing fast, like e-commerce, gig work, and content creator. These aren't captured well in international statistics. But the government needs more market frameworks to support these kind of workers too.
Like the TikTok sellers and the Shopee entrepreneurs and the YouTubers, they are all technically employed but also very vulnerable to platform change. Algorithm updates,
Yeah, I know, right? Labor landscape is really changing and the policies need to keep up. And it's not just about factory jobs anymore. It's about creating an ecosystem where people have to serve stable ways to earn a living.
Alright, we are coming up on time. So let's do a quick recap. What are the main takeaways from today?
Okay, so first is unemployment in Indonesia is a real and significant problem, especially is for youth and first graduates. The number might look small on paper, but the reality on the ground is much more complex.
Okay, second, we have some specific cases that highlight the different effects of unemployment. Mass layoff in traditional industry like textile, the fresh graduate, job hunting struggle, and even tech sector layoff that surprised a lot of people.
Okay, so the third Selva, the government has several programs in place, like from Kartu Prakerja, the investment-driven job creation, and the job creation law. But there are real debates about how effective these are, and there are trade-offs involved.
And fourth, moving forward, Indonesia needs to think not just about the number of jobs, but the quality of those jobs. And we need policies that match the reality of how work is changed in the 21st country.
Alright everyone, that's wrap for today, and thank you so much for your listening, and that has been our podcast. I'm Endah.
And I'm Selvana Dinara.
See you!
Bye.